And now I'm standing with a brilliant young woman. Her name is Ruby Roth, and interestingly enough, I saw her postcard for this book that I'm holding at the Young Coconut stand, and I thought that they were promoting the book for themselves, but they said, oh no, people just drop off pamphlets like babies here, they trust us. Well, I actually found the author of this book, not only the author, but the illustrator too, which is what first caught my eye, because if you could see, it's such a cute illustration of these animals. It's kind of like a little bit of cartoonish and abstract and just a very storytelling allure when you look at this. I love the little chicks that are actually eggs. And this is the first children's book ever to really get into the reasons behind veganism and vegetarianism. Ruby, what made you do this wonderful book?
I was actually teaching at an after-school program in the art department, and the kids were always so curious and interested in why I was vegan and why I had my own snacks and what I was eating and why I wasn't eating their cheese sticks and milk cartons. And I found that they were really open to it, and they loved finding out what I knew about the animals, and they could handle it, and they didn't need to sugarcoat it for them. I just told them what I would tell anybody, and they were so open to it, and I realized that there was no other book like this one out on the market, and I just thought there has to be one, so I did it.
And how old were these students?
These were 3rd to 5th graders.
Wow, so they were tough and they handled it, and I guess a lot of them went vegan and vegetarian too.
They wanted to, and that's the thing. That's why I'm so proud to have this book. Is there were so many children who said I'm going to go vegan, and one girl said I don't even like honey, so I'm going to be extreme. But their school did not have the support system nor the cafeteria to support that decision. So I'm happy to have this book that at least a family, can have this at home, and if they choose to do so, start making their own vegan lunches and bringing them to school.
It's interesting. Sometimes parents don't like this type of stuff, but there actually are a lot of parents that do, and they would embrace something like this.
Yeah, I think more and more. And the book is on Facebook, and I get so many wonderful notes from families everywhere thanking me for this book, and I'm so excited to make those connections with people and just be a part of the vegan-vegetarian movement.
Now, Ruby and I share the fact that we're both water signs. She's Cancerian and I'm Scorpio, which means we're very sensitive people. When you were writing this book, I'm sure you might have shed some tears.
I did. I did so much research on animal behavior, and there were so many times where I'm sitting at my computer by myself just bawling and seeing these pictures, and just even learning about the fishing industry and how the bottom of the oceans, even, if it's not the fish being destroyed, it's the bottom of the ocean and the coral and WorldFest. It's all happening right here. It's a really tough subject, and I am very sensitive about it. And when I became vegan, it wasn't at all for the animals. It was just as a health experiment. And the more I learned about it, it became all about the animals, and it's such a big part of it. And I learned so much just writing the book.
How long did it take you to write the book? It's a simple children's story, but there's a lot of in-depth topics here, so I'm sure it took quite a while.
Yeah, it was a couple years of research, and the first manuscript was thousands of words long, and I had to pare it down and get it really ready for a children's audience, and putting all that complex animal behavior research into simple sentences and ideas that children could understand. So we're coming to the end of the 2-year process, and it'll be out in the next 10 days. It's very exciting.
And how long did it take you to illustrate? I guess you wrote the script before, or were you doing it simultaneously?
They both happened, simultaneously, and as one developed, the other, followed. But it took about 9 months, a year to, from beginning to end to do the illustrations.
Just like bearing a child. See, this was her baby. Tell me about these chicks that are egg looking. They're sort of like what hermaphrodites, you know, both female and male. In this case, egg and chicken.
Well, I was really inspired by when I was working at the children's school. I would have them do a lot of different animal drawings, and kids are genius at paring down an animal to the essential shape of what they are, and a lot of them would draw these chickens in a circle with the beak. And I was like, that's a great design. And so I expanded on that simplification.
You don't even have to ask the question, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
I just want to show them real quick. Is that the most adorable little creature you have ever seen? Okay, so you just read your story here at WorldFest. How did you become involved with WorldFest?
I was actually invited by Andy Mars, who is running the Kids World stage, and he is starting a vegan school. And he saw the book, I don't know where he saw it, maybe on Facebook or online. He must have been searching, and he shot me an email, and here I am.
Wow, a vegan school. That you guys are just full of opportunities, ideas.
Taking over the world.
I'm glad people like you are taking over the world, trust me. And now you have the official release coming up in a few weeks. Why don't you explain where it is?
The official launch party will be at Storyopolis, which is a great children's bookstore, and they have art there. And that's where we're having the launch party. It's June 6th at 11:30 a.m. and all of the information can be found on my website, which is WeDon'tEatAnimals.com. WeDon'tEatAnimals.com. And I'll have other tour stops listed on there as well.
Okay, well, I'd like to try to make it. I honor you, seriously. I want to give her a hug.
Thank you.
She's so sweet. Okay, Monique here at the WorldFest with the #2 person that is not actually at a food stand. I've been sampling all this food, but I'm definitely going to get into this book for sure.